All right, time now for all things Gators, all things orange and blue. Dan Hicken and Frangie. What's up, Hick?
Oh man, can I do a happy dance?
Yes,
I mean, I'm just so happy.
Go ahead. I'll bail and let you go.
I'm so happy. I'm so thrilled for. And by the way, thank you, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, se-ortho.com for all your orthopedic needs in Jacksonville. But man, and I'm just so happy for not just me selfishly, but all those people who go to the swamp every week and lay it on the line and leave angry, and they finally got one. They finally can celebrate, and we won't back down. And it was just what a glorious night for them. I'm most happy for those people.
Yeah,
man.
I am too. But I can tell you, same here. And I'm happy for me, like you. Okay.
Yes.
So, but I agree with you. I'm happy for them too. But I will tell you, with the Texas game's an outlier.
Yes.
Didn't have a quarterback.
Yes.
But there's something a little bit brewing. I'm not going to overstate it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit brewing.
A little bit.
I'm not saying it's big brewing.
So you're not ready to say one of the topics of today's show will not be, should 5-5 get you in the college football playoff?
Probably
We're not going there?
Not yet. Not
okay,
yet.
I'm just checking.
It ran through my mind.
I'm just throwing it out there.
But I think if you pay attention, there's a little something brewing.
Yeah.
People say, well, they should play hard there. Well, that's not that easy. You can say, well, they should play hard. They're on scholarship. Well, the truth is some teams don't.
Right.
Some teams cash it in. Some teams don't. You can say should all you want, but he never lost these guys. That's what we've made in here. And look, LSU's no great team. LSU's good. They're not great. But for Florida, it represents progress.
Right.
Okay, because Florida was not beating the not so great LSU teams. And they physically laid it to this team.
And
That's the thing.
We'll get to Lagway in a minute because obviously he's the lead. But you're right. They're not great, but do they not have two potential first-round offensive tackles?
They do.
Had they not given up only 6 sacks the whole year?
All year.
How many sacks did they give up Saturday night?
7.
Where did that come from?
Well,
I've been waiting for, Tyreek Sapp and Banks and those guys. Pyburn and the way they played relentlessly. And, boy, they would, just the third and longs was the only problem. Right. More on that in a bit. But, man, they dominated up front.
I will tell you this. Tyreek Sapp and Caleb Banks had shown signs.
Yeah.
I never thought you'd blink and they turn into Lawrence Taylor and Mean Joe. They were as dominant in that game as some of the great defensive linemen Florida's had over the years.
Yeah.
That was Alex Brown.
Sapp was great.
He really was. And so, but I think what's happened is it's weird in college football. You got a modicum of talent or you wouldn't be at Florida. I don't care if you're Jim McElwain. If you're at Florida, you got a little bit of talent because you've been recruited by a lot of the people. But it never came to pass. I don't know if they were poorly coached, lost momentum, lost incentive, but the defensive group in this last month, and again, Texas is the outlier. That was just a weird game with no quarterback, and they're good into the road. But in this last month, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, LSU, they have played like a SEC defense. Right. It's been a long time since Florida's had an SEC defense.
Right.
A long time.
Right.
Long time.
Right.
And that group is now playing. And if you look, and I've been doing this, Cam Jackson's a senior, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Marshall, the now injured cornerback for the rest of the year, is a senior, he's gone. Bro, the rest of them are back. Now, Caleb Banks could come out early if he wants.
If they want to. Yeah, some have options to leave, but
most of them are definitive. Shamar James could come out early if he wants. But for the most part, they're all coming back. That whole they played that game without Pup Howard, one of their best players defensively, and that whole group's coming. And like you said, it wasn't perfect. LSU converted third downs. LSU had LSU out. By the way, LSU had 90-some plays to Florida's 40-some.
It was unbelievable.
So statistically, they're not there yet. Yeah. But they're playing with a toughness. They're playing with a passion.
And you know what else they got? They got better. Like they really dominated the offensive line in the second half, where you think they're got to be tired, but the amount of guys that they're able to use and stuff help them, I suspect.
Yeah, oh, no question. And you know what? He has been true to that.
Yeah.
He has rotated and rotated and rotated. So all of a sudden, there's something there defensively. There's something there with athletes. Offensively, 4 of those top 6 linemen are back, and the 2 running backs are back, and eventually we're going to get to that quarterback, okay, who's also back. And it's weird. His numbers are pedestrian.
Right.
He's 13 of 26. When he beat Kentucky, he's 7 of 14. But there's something about his presence. There's something about when he's on the field. defensive guys, offensive guys, they're all the band plays better. The cheerleaders cheer better. There's something about him when he's out there.
This is a Gator podcast?
Yes.
So we're talking to Gator fans?
We are.
Best release I've seen since Dan Marino. And save a little space for another statue.
Yeah.
Next to Spurrier and Danny.
Yeah.
Next and Timmy.
I don't know.
There yet. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. You heard it.
Right.
Save it.
I don't know that I'm quite there yet.
With the first pick in the 2028 or whatever, I don't know. Draft.
Don't rush it.
No.
Okay.
Give me 2 more. I got 2 more beautiful years.
But there's something about him, Dan.
But that's the upside.
Yeah.
Would you say that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wait till he learns how to play.
Right.
And wait till he learns how to attack. Right now, everything, you can tell he doesn't want to run because of the hammy.
Well, did the injury help him because he couldn't run?
Yeah.
And so he stayed. Now, he may have already possessed that.
But he's never been a takeoff guy.
No,
anyway.
he's not. But there were lanes that night.
Yeah.
But they said he couldn't even run because of the whatever apparatus he had hooked up.
But
I think it shocked him if he tried to run.
But I will tell you big game this week. We'll get to that in a minute.
Uh-huh.
They're going to probably beat Florida State, which means they're in a bowl. But I will tell you, there's something brewing. That's the story for today. And I've been saying this in these podcasts.
Yes.
There's something brewing, and it's been a long time. And I'm going to give Scott Strickland credit. Everyone wants to beat up Scott.
Yep.
Beat up Billy.
Yep.
We're all mad at Billy on game day, every game day.
Yep.
There's still a lot about him I don't like as a coach. But he's the one that said, listen, enough's enough. He's our coach. He didn't say how long.
Right.
But he made a point to say that we're going to keep this guy.
Right.
You've seen the recruits start pouring in.
Yeah.
You've seen the visits really pour in.
Yeah.
The team's playing well.
Yeah.
The team upset. Now that they're all kind of galvanized, again, something's brewing there. It's a long process in the SEC, okay? You're not in the ACC or the Big 12 where this brewing could turn into a league championship next year.
Right.
It's going to take a while. But you feel it brewing with all these young players.
And and knowing that they have the same schedule as next year.
Right.
Off the top of your head, how many games could they win?
Could or would?
Could.
9. Could win 9.
Say 10.
Could get to 10.
Yeah.
Remember this about next year.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget. Carson Beck, Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Garrett Nussmeier. There's 5. Quinn Ewing. That's 5 good quarterbacks that are going to be in the national. They're all going to be in the NFL.
Right.
Okay. They may not all go in the first round, but all 5 of those guys will be in the NFL.
Right.
Are all gone next year. Tennessee comes to Gainesville. How's that worked out for them in recent years? Okay.
I'm just saying.
And Florida State, Mississippi State. Yeah. They could be, if it continues to grow.
Last year I had to make up hope.
Right.
This year I have real hope.
And I will tell you this. Chris Leak got there in 02, I think it was, or 03. Get there in 03. Played in 03. Was okay. He won the job from Engel Martin 2 or 3 games in. Was okay. Had to learn how to play as a true freshman.
Yeah.
He did okay.
Right.
That was 03. 04, Ron Zook did what he should have done when he got there, and he moved on from Ed Zonbrecker and promoted Larry Fedora. 04, Chris Leak led the league in passing, and he started to emerge. But he took that one big step. If Lagway takes that one big step, imagine what he's going to be.
Right.
I mean, we haven't even seen what he. At some point, it's not going to be 7 of 14 or 13 of 26.
Right.
At some point, it's going to be 25 of 31 for 338 and 4 touchdowns. That's coming in in DJ Lagway's career.
One of the things Napier's been really good at is developing, because he does pick out some 3-stars.
Right.
Some of these 3-stars that he's grabbed have already, and Jack Pyburn's.
Yes.
I don't know if Jaden Ball was a heavily recruited. He's going to Arkansas.
He's a good player.
Boy, he's good though.
Yeah.
He's 235 pounds running the football.
I'll say this: he clearly recognizes guys. When he went and got Graham Mertz, everyone said, "Oh, Mertz is terrible." But he saw something. Okay. When he went and got Elijah Badger, he went and got Chimere Dike, Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah.
He saw something. Yeah. He's got a great eye for of all the things that aren't great about Billy. He's got an eye for that.
Yeah.
He does. So he brings in guys. So anyway, for now, great. Let's get to now. Great win for the Gators.
Oh, great win.
Physical win for the Gators. I love it. It felt like 80s Gators.
Okay.
Physical defensively, 2 good big physical runners. I felt like I was watching Low Hampton and Neil Anderson and John L. Williams when they were young. Remember when those guys were young?
Oh, do I?
You were in school and probably not really coherent during those games, but
I'm very coherent.
But I'm telling you, those were the days.
Yes.
This felt more like that than a Spurrier
That's
Urban
fine.
team.
I'll take those days.
For
those
now,
some good ballers.
Yeah,
there.
and it felt that way to me. So let's fast forward to Saturday.
Okay.
Okay.
Tougher. little tougher.
I mean, Ole Miss is really good.
Yeah.
And they proved it against Georgia. But
they can all come out and say, well, LSU beat Ole Miss.
Yeah,
I get that. Ole
yeah,
Miss is
yeah,
a level up
yeah.
on LSU.
Right. But I am going to hold on to the fact that LSU and Kentucky both beat them.
That's fair.
And Florida beat them both. I mean, that doesn't mean they're going to allow me, fan guy, to hold on to the fact that both LSU and Kentucky, the two teams that beat Ole Miss, Florida beat them both.
Yeah.
And beat them both by double digits. So, yeah, that doesn't mean they're going to win. That means there's hope, man.
Oh, yeah.
You're a 10-point dog, not a 25-point dog. And it's the Swamp, and the Swamp is already sold out. And let me tell you what, Gator fan, you're watching. If you're at that Swamp, Gator fan rocks.
Oh, man.
Because no matter how bad it's been, Gator fan goes to that game.
Sold them all out.
And is loud and is nuts and is crazy.
Yeah.
Gator fan, you rock. I am proud of Gator fan.
Oh, yeah.
Because no one's selling out seasons anymore, okay?
Right.
That's why stadiums are all getting smaller.
Right.
That's why, because people are staying home and watching on the big screen.
That's right.
Not Gator fan.
Nope.
I mean, not Gator. Gator fan goes, man.
Yep.
Gator fan goes to that game, and God bless Gator fan.
Amen.
And Gator fan will be there on. And people say, well, it's harder for an early game. Yeah, it is. It won't be sold out. It won't be full at kickoff, but it'll be full 6 minutes left in the quarter. It'll be full.
They'll be revved up.
Yeah, and so look, I'm not gonna say I expect Florida to win.
Right.
But I damn sure wouldn't be surprised. Would
Yeah.
you? Would you be surprised if that thing's over and Florida has won 28-24 over Ole Miss?
Oh, don't go there with me.
You wouldn't be surprised at all.
Don't go there with me. I would be thrilled. I listen, and then you get FSU, and then you get the Tax Slayer Bowl, and they like to jump on Florida at 6-6.
Well,
if
I
that
think,
were the case.
Yeah, and 6-6 Florida will be in Jacksonville.
And by the way, 6-6 Florida would sell out in Jacksonville.
Yeah, 7-5 Florida will be in Tampa, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think either way, it's either Florida, it's either the Gator Bowl versus Pitt, or it's the Outback Bowl versus Illinois.
Yeah.
I think Florida beat either one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is a Florida team that's headed to 7 or 8 wins, based on how it all and what momentum that would be going into the portal season, the end of recruiting season next year.
And you have DJ Lagway.
Yeah, and
so kids want to play. Right. They gravitate to this kid. He's a natural leader.
Yeah.
I mean, I see him out. I see him shaking everybody's hand before the game. Yeah. I see him talking smack to Georgia Bulldogs players before that. This guy's got the it factor. It's great, and it's such an exciting time. And normally you say, well, you never keep a coach because of a player.
Right.
This might be the one
time. That's exactly right. Well, you know what? It is the one time.
Yeah.
Yes, you keep him because of DJ Lagway. Secondly, and I want to get to the coaching stuff with this. We're going a little long, but that's okay. I want the second part of that, Dan, is it's not just Lagway.
Yeah.
It's you keep him because of Tyreek Sapp
and
TJ Searcy and Shamar James and Miles Graham and Aaron Childs and Aaron Gates and Aiden Mizell and Jaden Baugh and Jacoby Jackson. They play for him.
Yeah.
And they're all going to be there.
Yeah.
That's man, the last time Florida fans were excited about the future.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 20 was a great season,
right?
So we just were convinced that Dan would take Emory Jones and make him great in 21,
right?
And we were wrong. You know, remember?
Yeah.
So there was some excitement going into 21.
It's been a while.
But so going into 21, there was some excitement. But that's right.
Yeah.
Is where this thing's headed. So, all right, a few other things.
Uh-huh.
The whispers in the social media and message boards where you're kind of the king, the whispers there are that Billy Napier agreed to bring in an offensive coordinator. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know that I buy it, but those are the whispers. Have you heard the whispers?
I have not, but let me ask you a question. Do you want him to?
Well, I will say this. Yes, I do.
Okay.
But because I just think he's done so much good in building, and I can tell you, he cleaned up a mess. Whether people want to admit that or not.
That's a fact.
He cleaned up a mess, and it is clean now and in so many ways. He's done so much good. He's such an organizer. But I can't help but think, what would DJ Lagway be with one of these fast, up-tempo, offensive-minded coordinators? I just can't help but think.
Got to get the right guy.
Oh, I know, but I can't. So what was your answer to the question? Do you want him to or not? You're not sure. You're not sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I
get it. I get that.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of the offense, but a running quarterback like and again, he's not a running. He's a passing quarterback, but he will run. He's a willing runner, as we like to say, right? I there's always things we don't understand.
Yeah.
Why do they run this jet sweep and never hand the ball to the guy anymore?
Right. And here's what I'll tell you.
Yeah.
When I watch not just Tennessee, but when I watch whether it's Ole Miss, Georgia, whoever, the clapping, shifting, play clock running down, clapping, shifting, pointing, play clock at 9, clapping, shifting, play clock.
Yeah, I get it.
Other teams don't have that. They get up and go.
Yeah.
And I'm not pretending to understand more than I do about it. I'm not some ex-football guy, but I wouldn't mind seeing them in more of an attack mode.
Yeah.
And so, but your point's a good one. Do you want to mess up something that looks like it's working? I hear you.
And you can build off.
And you can build.
But we'll see. We'll see.
But Ole Miss.
There are some other coaches that I wouldn't be upset if they made changes. But that's neither here nor there.
The quick thought on basketball before we get out of here.
Nice win. They should have a good week this week, and we got to wait on the investigation.
Yeah, the Golden stuff. Who knows? There's no point in talking about it because we don't know.
We don't know.
We'll wait to hear on the Golden stuff. As for and we're not trying to duck it. We just don't know.
Yeah.
As for the basketball team, if they can shoot it, they're gonna be really good.
Yeah.
They are physical, tough.
I got a little miffed against the Noles.
The turnovers?
No, the defense towards the end, the Matador defense. Yeah. They just started all of a sudden. FSU just started going to the basket.
That was a bad stretch.
They cut that lead down to 4, and then Florida said, "Okay." Well, Walter Clayton Jr.'s
great player.
Great player.
Yeah,
we got
a little lucky when Elijah Barton banked in the long 3.
Yes.
But then Clayton hit the real 3
and a layup, and he finished them.
But the one thing I like about them, one of the things, I'll say that, and I think I said this last podcast. So they got pushed around by Colorado when they lost. They weren't very physical.
Right.
I don't know if he went out and got him in the weight room. I mean, Chinyelu, Alexis, Martin, even Clayton's bigger. They look like a physical SEC team. They're not getting pushed around. And I hope they shoot it well enough. I'm still worried about the long-range shooting other than Clayton. But they are Richard looks more cut now than he did.
Right.
So in that brutal SEC where everybody's fast and physical and long and athletic, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun watch. So
I can't wait.
So, all right. Ole Miss, Florida comes up this week.
Yes.
That's all things Gators. Dan Hicken and Frank Frangie.
All right. And thank you, Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, sc-ortho.com for all your orthopedic needs. Frank, have a great week. Go Gators.
You too, Hick.